Hi, it's me, Jaime, in another episode with your favorite 5 foot host for an episode of Small Talk. I don't know why I keep saying like it's something. This is more of a journal. At least that's what it's become. So like, there's really no reason for me to introduce it and like to the one person that's gonna fucking watch this, which is Anderson. But like, I don't know. I just felt like going on again today. Just because I was bored. A lot has happened. Not a lot has happened actually. This week's been very fucking boring. We did have that one. We did go on a trip, which was a lot of fun, and so much shit happens. Which I'm not because it's gonna be Anderson watching this most likely, so I can't say a whole lot just because save me some fucking. Actually, I will say some things just because again, a lot of this is like so I can watch back in the future and see what the fuck was going on during this time. But like, I don't know. It's just a lot of fun, you know. But this week overall. I would say that the best way I would describe it is kind of like rejuvenated in a way. Just because, like, I don't know, I was happy. I have been a bit bored lately by myself, just kind of like doing my own thing. But like, I just felt kind of rejuvenated for the most part. Like, there are some thoughts still in my head of the thing that happened. You know, the fucking this is the best. That's the only way I'm gonna describe it. But like, yeah, dude. And it's like at first it was very boring and stuff, but now I'm like starting to really get the hang of it again. I mean, it's not like much has changed realistically. It's just I've always just kind of been doing my own fucking thing, and like what's gonna prevent it now, you know? But I mean, I would say that the trip was a success. Although like the majority of the college was just kind of mid. Like Boise State was the one that attracted me the most, and then maybe the last one that we did, Carrington, because again, it was like hands-on and stuff. But like other colleges, they were like Eastern Oregon University seemed cool and everything, but it's just like not something that I'm very interested into. And then CWI was another one that looked interesting, but then I was like, I don't really know. Seems more like I don't know, it just wasn't I didn't feel like going to college in a fucking remodeled Sam's Club, you know what I mean? So like uh that's about it. But I think honestly, after a very convincing phone call between me and my cousins in the hotel room at like fucking 10, 11 at night, based on a very interesting phone call because I called to ask them about like a password for Amazon Prime, their Amazon Prime account, so I could watch Smiling Friends, which I heard is a really good show. But like after a very like hour-long convo with them, I think I'm kind of set on going that direction. And again, this will be keen on me watching this back because then I can see myself, and if I ended up going to fucking CWI, for example, I can be like, you're a fucking dumbass. But like I think the only out of all the only out of all the colleges that we saw, I would say Boise State was the one that interested me the most. It just seemed like maybe because I just haven't been to a college that's that size, you know, and stuff like that. But like it looked fucking badass. It looked badass. Like the stadium and all that, it looked sick. I really wanted to race Noel on that fucking track though at fucking Eastern Oregon University. I really wanted to race him because all I'm saying is that he was gonna get gapped, and I know that he's at a disadvantage because he kind of has a sprained ankle. But I would have still like held that win dominantly just because, bro, you know. And but no, it was a very interesting trip. I would say that we did fucking mess around a little too much. No, we did use the word inbred and a bunch of other things a little too much. Too much yelling, in my opinion. We really made ourselves look like a fucking fool at Blue Mountain Community College because of that shit. But like, just to like go into some fucking little background of what happened in that bathroom, Noe just likes to yell. Like in the hotel room, I'm surprised we didn't get like the security guard fucking banging on our door because of it. But this was fucking loud. Like he does not know how to shut the fuck up, right? Like he gets frustrated and he'll just yell out like the N word or he'll just start yelling inbred out, which is honestly Hector's fault. I don't know why he took implemented that in his vocabulary, But like Nomi just fucking yells and yells. Funny as fuck at times, but like I started realizing like, yo, it's bad, right? Like it's very bad. Um, again, yeah. So we were in the bathroom of the what's it called, Blue Mountain, and so their urinals were really fucking weird. They were all pressed up, maybe like 5 inches away from each other, and no barriers in between, meaning that if we all decided to take pisses, just everyone would be rocking out with their cock out, and it just didn't seem like my type of fun at the moment. Just like maybe a good Saturday night, but not my type of fun at the moment. And yeah, so we were all pissing in the stalls, and there was only two stalls, and so I was done, right? I was done, and I look underneath the stall, and I see Noe's foot like kind of dangling more on my side. So I go and I fucking reach under the thing, and I untie his shoe. I untie his shoe, and then Yogi, he sees me do that, and he's like, "Oh, I got to do the other one now." And Noe, he heard Noe's reaction after the first one, which was inbred. And then after that, Yogi did it. Yogi ate fucking shit after that because again, there was a divider so that the doorway people couldn't see like people pissing, and Yogi was and the stall was right here and the barriers right here. Yogi's on this side. He reaches under, does the thing, and then he goes, and he fucking crashed into it trying to run away because Noel was coming out of the stall with on shiesty mode and he was about to go crazy. He was gonna introduce him to the demon side of them back shots. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, then Anderson came in. Someone turned off the lights, and we started yelling. They heard us. We had to do the walk of shame, which honestly, I was like, it wasn't even my fault. I didn't do shit. So like, I don't know why people are looking at me. But dude, those girls were bitches at Blue Mountain Community College. I'm sorry. They're actually not the one doing the main tour. The one that was just that didn't have glasses, the one without glasses, like she wasn't that big of a bitch, but the second one was definitely a bitch. Like I heard that she wanted to be an elementary teacher. I fucking feel bad for the kids that get ended up in her fucking class because they're just gonna have to sit around an annoying bitch for an hour. Like no, not even it's kindergarten. It's not even like they have periods, so they're just gonna like be sitting with this annoying lady for about 8 hours during their day. Like could just kind of put it into perspective, like that's their mom for the majority of the part. That's their mom, so like I feel really bad for those kids because they're just gonna have to deal with that annoying shit all day long. Like you would be thinking the girl's gonna be annoyed at the children. No, the children are gonna be annoyed of her. Like it really does suck for those kids. And but I feel like she's low-key gonna like give out just because she seems like that type of lady. So I'm not praying on her downfall. I'm guaranteeing it. I'm just predicting it. I'm not praying on it. I'm predicting it. But yeah, dude, that's for the most part what happened. I really found some good music while I was over there, just because of like some funky Spotify playlists that I have that I really did kind of like fucking fall in love with music wise, because like I've lately gotten into that mellow type of stuff, like very mellow, like just kind of 70s soul kind of thing, kind of music. So like I kind of found like this one by The Sacred Souls. I'm gonna skip a little bit ahead. Oh, this is a good part. Like just to like kind of set it up like that. Like it was there's some good music, and I was playing a lot of music, and then Javi called me out like the bitch that he is. He was like, "Dude, all this music you listen to is like depressing music. Like, are you so depressed over what happened?" And I'm like, "Dude, I really could care less. Like, actually, I can't. I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't. But still, like, I've been in a good mood. I've had people like close to me now, and I've kind of just been dealing it within my own way. And honestly, I think the way that I'm dealing with it is good. I'm not trying to act all sad and stuff. Like, I'm just kind of going through it. I'm just kind of vibing with it. Like, I'm just doing my own thing now. And although hold up, my dog's I'm trying to get out of my room. Like, obviously, I miss the company just because, like, now I'm just kind of by myself all day, and it's like I kind of just lost interest in a lot of things. Like, when it comes to interaction, like, I know, like, I still feel like I want to talk to someone, but like, I don't really know, like, what to talk or like who to talk to. Just because, again, I've always just kind of talked to one specific person for so long. So, like, now when they're like gone, I'm just like, oh, okay, shit. And what do I do now? Like, mom, pick me up. I'm scared type of shit, you know? But, like, that's just all it really is right now. Like, just still, like, adapting back to just, like, being my old self. And that's the thing is that, like, I'm like, yo, I really, like, why the fuck would I have to act differently? Like, I went, I acted the same way for years. So it's like, what's gonna change now? Like, I could just go back to that. Like, I did it for years. I can do it again, you know, type of stuff. But, like, I don't really know. It's still very confusing to me. Honestly, it still really is. Also, I got new rings and a new bracelet, and I also got this one. I just fucked with it, but well, yeah, back to what I was talking about. It's just kind of like I'm finding new ways to express myself, and I think now this is gonna help out. Like, honestly, it's gonna be good for this because now I have no one else to talk to. So like all the thoughts in my head, I can just display on here and then ship them off to the internet and leave a digital footprint for the rest of my life that's gonna haunt me. But like also, again, like I said, I'm gonna be putting all these on these little USB stick, and I'm gonna be keeping it for as long as I can remember. It's a small talk on it, shady camera quality because of Zoom, but that's about it. But like that's the way that I'm gonna go about it. It's just kind of just be myself, just kind of go through it and go through the process again. I mean, again, it's not like anything's gonna change from before. And like now thinking about it, I don't know how the fuck I did it for so long, but yeah, I can find a way. And honestly, like I go to the gym. So no, so I mean that's a new way. That's always been a way that I like to express myself. But I mean I'm just kind of like alone right now. That's the best way to describe it. It's just I'm just kind of alone. So that field trip really did help a lot because I didn't feel alone. And luckily, like I have friends that I can just kind of like text them a message and like they'll fucking respond and we can play video games or if not hang out like in a matter of minutes or hours, just setting it up wise. But like, what's it called? It's just getting used to it again. I need to start talking to new people, like genuinely, just for the most part. Just cause, like I feel like I can do a lot better now that I have that confidence out there that anything is possible. I can very much do it again and honestly do better because the last time, like I kind of just held back a lot. That's the best way I would describe it. It's just like I wasn't really myself a lot of the time. Like I allowed myself to be myself, but like in there was certain ways that I really wanted to express myself in that I didn't have the chance to. So that's the only part that I would say kind of sucked. But it is what it is. Now I can look upon that, rebuild on it, and then go back to square one. So we'll see how that goes. I already kind of have my mind up as to like maybe who else might be interesting to try for. But I mean, talking to some friends, dude, I could low key be like Cat Williams, like type of pimpy type shit if I really wanted to. I'm not saying Cat Williams was a pimp, but he really liked to dress up like one. So I'm just gonna say that just because it sounds fun. It sounds funnier that way. But yeah, back to what else? Back to just original, back on track. See where we can transition. But yeah, for the most part, I've just been kind of laying around there doing whatever. And now I kind of want to talk a little bit of just stuff that fucking happened on the college trip, like the hotel time. And it's like that were super fun. Like the first night, not much was done. Like I kind of stayed in my room a lot of the time. I didn't really do much, a whole lot. Like I tried playing video games a bit, and then like Chente kept bouncing around room to room because of bed bugs and allergies that he had, so he couldn't really stay in our room. And I don't know, we tried playing a couple of games like Siege and stuff, and Siege with the boys, remember that if you're watching this again. I'm gonna try and remind myself that every podcast just to like kind of refer back to it. But um and that was the first night, so very fucking lame. We worked out, got in the sauna for like 30 minutes, and that honestly was a so big. And then I decided to do a cold plunge just to like rejuvenate myself from all that heat and exhaustion. So I need to now awake myself with all this cold. Like I grabbed like an entire tub of ice, put it in a cold bath, took a cold bath, and a cold shower right afterwards. After that, just kind of relaxed for the night. Uh, did some homework here and there, but it was really the second night when we started getting a bit more active. Like early to start, we got done working out, done showering, done everything. Then like at 11, when everything was like settled down a little bit, we all ended up in Yogi, Max's, and Noel's room, and we were just kind of fucking around in there, doing whatever, doing a couple prank calls or and stuff. And for the most part, it was just kind of interesting just to because again, the first night nothing happened, so why the second night when everyone was being kind of lame? The second night, like no one was talking to each other the second day. Like after the tours of the couple of the colleges, we all got back and no one talked to each other until we ate, and then even after that, it was we were all kind of being lame. But eventually, we started moving again, and then we were in Yogi's room. We made a mess. Kind of feel bad for that, but we put it back though. But we made a quick fort in the bathroom that they had, which was a lot of fun. Like there's videos and clips that we made on it, and it's like on an Instagram post that I did. Like it looks me like I'm laying in a bathtub, but what they don't see is that in that bathtub there's an ironing board with on top of it, I think there's two cushions, then there's a chair, a spinny chair, and then I think there was like a box of tissues on top or a trash can. I can't remember, but it was like a giant tower, and they took a picture of me where I'm laying in the bathtub, just like because I'm the smallest one there, so I fit there. And that picture goes kind of hard for the most part, but yeah, that was like the fun part. Then we ended up in Carol's room. Carol's room, there was like six of us. We tried building a fort. Carol got mad. Kind of sucked. That fort low key would have been like bomb as fuck. I was gonna sleep in the bathtub, but then I was like, nah, it it would cause trouble type of thing. But it was good fun. We were just kind of messing around. And then we went back to our room and we were bouncing around room to room, me, Hector, Genta. We are just kind of running around, figuring out where the fuck to go, like all this stuff. And I mean, it was a lot of fun for the most part, just kicking in with the guys, being boys. But a lot of fun on that, a lot of fun on that trip, just kind of just doing our own thing, really. And I mean, I don't, I those hotel people are probably glad to have us out, but I mean, well, they're gonna probably get hit more with more like worse people, honestly. We did, we were very noisy, but luckily, I think we had the whole first and second floor to ourselves, so like the only people we could really bother was our own classmates and not random people who like maybe wanted sleep after like maybe like a long day of like traveling or something. So I think that was like the only positive that really did come out of it for the most part. But I mean, I really did enjoy the trip. Kind of better than the first one. I kind of can't remember much that happened the first one. The first one just because it was a day long and it's like nothing really happened. Everything was just kind of being lame. No one was really talking. Like we didn't really do much. So this one was a lot more fun for sure. Dude, some people are very like I found out some things about a couple people on the trip that I didn't really know about just because I got to talk to them a little bit more type of thing. Like it was very interesting. I'm obviously not gonna talk about it because it was like kind of personal, I guess, or like kind of things that don't really need to be out there. And again, like the only thing I'm gonna be putting out there is probably things of myself, just to, like respect. But like people are kind of cooler. Jose Lopez, that's a very interesting character. That was one of them that was very interesting. Like I knew he was always like a little bit out there, but not as much. And then like okay, he was just being quite open on the trip. And it was kind of like a new refresher because again I was really close with Jose during elementary school because again like I we all kind of know each other, but like me and Jose were like for this like we were close friends, like we were really good friends. Then we went to Prescott and like we just stopped kind of talking to each other, but like he's still a cool guy. I know he is. He's jacked low key. He's got a sleeper build. This guy's forearms are like Popeyes, but I mean. He's a cool guy, but kind of bit out there, just to say the most. But mm, it was good trips, good times. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about. Maybe I might just talk about video games and like some things about it that I find interesting in video games and music. Just because like lately they've been like my main source of just like disconnecting for a couple minutes, just kind of like reevaluating myself. Because music, I'm starting to be a little bit more out there with it. Like I'm not really following same trendy stuff. Like I kind of got bored of that. Like I said, like I'll run you down. My playlist is a giant clusterfuck of music. Like my last 10 songs were "Will I See You Again," the one I played earlier by the Sacred Souls, then "The Memory" by Roy Ayers, "The Agony and Ecstasy" by Smoking Robinson. This one's a bit weird, but I really liked it. But it was Bandoleros by and the one in the Fast and Furious and 3005 by Childish Gambino, which I thought I had, but I guess I don't. And then there's like punk rock, like Hopeless Romantic by the Bouncing Souls. And then Sabrina the Teenage Bitch. That's a good one. And then, just kind of out there. I have a couple country songs as well. And then some rap music, some rock music, the Jackson 5 all of a sudden, the Isley Brothers, like Mexican music, a couple little bit like there's a little bit of rap in there, but like mostly like MF Doom and stuff that is just kind of out there. But yeah, I mean it's just that's kind of like the way that I've been kind of heading towards music. A big one that I've been kind of getting into is ASAP Rocky, mostly for the main part that he kind of I like his sound. It's very smooth, quiet, like the features that he uses. Like they're very good. It's smooth. It's just it flows so well. Sometimes you don't even like I'm not half the time I'm not even listening to what ASAP Rocky is saying. I'm listening to the background music just because it's the main part that I concentrate on. And it's like he uses his vocals and like the things that he's saying more as like part of the beat than he is like making a song or like lyrics out of it. It's like it just kind of flows well with a beat, right? And it's a very good like it's the main one that I would say is like jukebox joints by him. Like that's a good one that you get a good illustration of it. Like the feature and like like featured featuring Kanye West, which is honestly like a good one as well. That one like it shows you like what rapping is on those type of beats is. But like ASAP Rocky's was mostly just kind of in the beginning of it is very like it just goes along with the beat so well. It almost feels like it's part of it instead of it trying to work with it. Like, it's it's a very interesting take on it, but it's the way that I feel about it. And MF Doom, obviously, I don't know if you can tell by the big ass ring on my finger about him, but he's one of my favorite artists. I typically have been listening more to Middle Finger instead of like Metal Phase Doom, but Metal Fingers, which is the one he makes beats and stuff. And then like his it's just mostly production. Like let me look for like a version, like a good one that I like a lot. Okay, that's Mac DeMarco. That's another one that's different, but it's still very good music. But like, hmm. And those all those songs, they do not have like words at all. They're just straight beats. And I mean, I kind of been listening to those more just because again, I'm more into the melodic way things feel type of thing. And it's just he does a very good job at that, like kind of getting good feeling through music in that type of sense. Um, but and then video games like FIFA, I can't play anymore. It's just annoying. Call of Duty, it just kind of like overrun for me. I kind of burnt myself out on it. And then Siege has been a big one just because everyone's been playing it again. Just kind of a good game to play with people. It's very entertaining. And I mean, I've been trying to get into other solo games, just like for the most part, just because they're better, honestly, than most other games. Because it just kind of depends on yourself, and it's very skill wise, but at the same time, it's just up to you and not teammates and not worrying about a bunch of other stuff. It just kind of falls on you as a person, and you have to go through the adventure yourself. No one else can help you but you. Like High on Life was a big game, mostly just because I really like the concept. I really like the idea of it and like everything that had to do with it. But it was just most like it was just something that I did on myself. I was proud of myself of it more than anything, right? Like that was the way I saw it because I didn't watch YouTube videos or tutorials on how to do certain missions. I just did it how the game explained it to me, and I did it at my best capability. And then like because it's a game about how Earth gets taken over by a cartel, and then they're taking humans as a new type of drug because in space they take other creatures and then they use them as drugs, and in this case they're like, oh, humans are the like the crack of like of drugs in space. So they were taking it over. You become a space bounty hunter and you go after the cartel. Very weird storyline made by the people who made Rick and Morty, so it kind of gives you an idea as to like just how it is. But mm, it was such a good game. Graphics, the way it looked, it was funky, wonky, like things that they said. It was just like very mature game. Like I say mature, but it's so childish at the same time. But it was just such a perfect game. But I need to find new games and I need to find new things to kind of keep me distracted at the moment. Track is coming up. That'll be big. Kind of this week I've had like a little scare with my knee because it's been hurting a lot, but it passes all the tests. Like I can do the one-legged squat on it. I have the full range of motion still. Like it doesn't swell. It's probably just very sore, but I don't know from what though, or like what would cause it to get like this. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. I mean, it seems like it's getting better, so I'll just have to trust the process for the most part. And yeah, I mean that's honestly that's the key. That is the key. And that is the lesson that is gonna come out of this is just trust the process. Currently I'm going through a lot of processes, and although it may seem like it's not going my way at the moment, but maybe it is. And I just don't know about it. And I just have to be patient and trust it, right? So yeah, that is the lesson that I'm gonna gain out of this. And hopefully maybe a lesson that maybe after me mentioning, you're like, you know what, maybe I should trust the process. But yeah, today was just kind of, I felt like it, so I did it. And it was like halfway through, I'm just gonna admit I'm kind of forcing myself to talk about topics. Like I'm not super into it, but like I really do not have anything else better to do. So just kind of be me better to just get my mind off some things and just kind of spit it out for the most part. So I sayonara, take care. Hopefully I'm 6 foot when I record again, and yeah.